What is up, guys? It's Mystification X here, and today we're going to be taking a look at 4 different webcams from a little bit above $100 all the way down to about $58. We're going to start off with the cheapest one first, which is the OBSBot Meet SE. But with that, let's get into this video. All right, so I got the OBSBot right here in my hand, and if you can't tell, it is a very, very small camera here. Let me hold this up for you here real quick. This is what it looks like. Oh, and I dropped it. It's broken. It's over. Nah, not really. We're going to test now to see how that works. I did just drop this thing, and we'll see, yeah, how this thing looks and everything like that. All right, everything that does come in the box with this includes a USB-C, well, to USB-C in the box. So I looked through the box. I did not see a USB-A adapter in there at all. So if you don't have any USB-C slots on your PC, this might not work unless you get an adapter. And then with that, I don't know how well it would look with an adapter to the USB-C. And then it also comes with a magnetic clip here as well. So you should just be able to adjust that, attach it on like so. That is how it would go on. And it is made out of a hard plastic, so you can hear that. It is made out of hard plastic, so should be pretty good. The video capture resolution on this thing is 1080p at 100 frames per second. The maximum focal length on it is 26 millimeters, and the maximum aperture is 1.8 f. But yeah, this is the OBSBot Meet. Like I said, very tiny. That is what it looks like in my hand right now. With that, let's get this hooked up and see how it looks. All right, and now we are on the OBSBot Meet, and this is how it looks. One thing I do notice is, which is kind of cool on the small device, is in the top right corner, there is actually like a little red light on it that shows that you are using it for recording. So I find that very interesting. When I'm looking at the video quality, it's not half bad. I mean, I feel like it's a little dark, but my lighting situation might not be the best. You see that there's a little bit more light picking up on this side over here. But if you play around with the lighting, I feel like it doesn't look half bad for 1080p at 100 FPS. Like $58. I mean, that's looks like it's a fairly good quality for 1080p. But we're also now going to be taking a look at the audio and see how the microphone sounds on this. This is how the OBSBot sounds with just its microphone. Hopefully it sounds okay, but it is a webcam microphone, so I'm not expecting it to sound anything decent. The noise reduction is set to weak right now, but we can play it in the software and see how it sounds a little bit better. This is what the noise reduction sounds like at the medium setting. And this is how the noise reduction on the mic sounds with the strong setting on. Another nice thing about the OBSBot Meet here is that you can just flip it around and you can make really good vertical content. All right, the next camera that we got coming up is another OBSBot camera. This is the OBSBot Tiny SE, 1080p at 100 frames per second. It has AI tracking, and it also has gesture controls, dual ISO, staggered HDR, and we're going to test that out here for you. The price for that right now on Amazon is about $84. This is the OBSBot SE right here. I do not have the box because I had this camera for a little bit. I use this one for when I play Magic over a webcam. But yeah, this is what it looks like. And once again, it does only come with a USB-C to USB-C, so you would need an adapter for it. And I can verify with this one that the quality when I was using it for Magic, not half bad, so I don't think the adapter really affects it too bad. But with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to see how the video looks. All right, this is the OBSBot Tiny SE. It is the 1080p camera, and this is what it looks like coming right out of the box. When I look at the video of this one, I feel like it doesn't reflect the light as much as the Meet did. The lighting setup is the exact same of how it was on that one. I feel like it's a little bit more color balanced. Like it's not as dark on that side, on this side of me. I feel like the other one was a little bit darker on this one. We're going to do like a side-by-side comparison of them at the end here. But yeah, this is what it looks like. Let's just see like the gesture controls, see if they work. Oh yeah, that works. That gets really close to you. Back it up a little bit. Yeah. All right, but now we're going to see how the tracking works with AI. So we're going to stand up. We're going to lose audio here a little bit, but so yeah, it has a pretty good tracking control and everything like that. So yeah, that is the OBSBot SE 1080p for about $84. With that, let's test the audio out on it. Alright, this is how the Ozbot Tiny SC's mic sounds, just the built-in microphone. This is with no noise reduction turned on at all. This is how it sounds. And this is how it sounds with the weak noise suppression on. This is how it sounds with the medium noise reduction on. And this is how it sounds with the strong noise reduction on. Alright, that was the Ozbot Tiny SC. Let me know what you guys thought about that camera in the comments below. Camera we have coming up next is the Instalink 360 Link 2C. It also has the auto framing, HDR, AI noise canceling mic, gesture controls, and all of that, same as the Ozbot. So here, let's take a look at what comes in the box here real quick. So I got the box. Of course, you get the camera here. You get the good solid camera. You can get different colors for this. This base, though, one thing I will say about the Instalink one is it is a solid metal base. So if you can hear, it is more of a solid metal base on this one, so that is kind of nice. So let's see what else you got besides the camera in the box. You get your good old classic instructions and everything like that. So you get instructions in the box. You get a pretty long USB-C cable here that says Instalink 360 on it. So yeah, you get a pretty long USB-C cable here. And guys, guess what? They actually give you an adapter with this one. So that's a win for Instalink right here. You get an actual USB-A adapter coming with this camera. But let's get to the most important part. Let's see how the video quality looks on this. Alright guys, this is what the Instalink 2C looks like at 1080p at 30 frames per second. When I'm looking at the video here, I feel like it is actually like kind of blown out. Like the light is very bright. Like, I mean, I know I can adjust this, but I didn't do it for the other cameras. So I feel like it is very blown out. Like, it is white. Like, the light is bright. So I would definitely have to adjust that. But coming right out of the box and just plugging and playing, I mean, I feel like it's very bright and everything like that. The picture quality, I think, looks pretty darn good overall, except for it being very bright. But I think with fixing the light and everything, we could definitely fix that. All right, and here we are with the auto framing. I have it turned on now, and let's see what it does with the auto framing. That's kind of interesting because, you know, it isn't on a gimbal. That's the thing. This camera is not on a gimbal, so this is all AI based and no gimbal involved. So, I mean, it's kind of cool for $99 that you can do all this. See, and this is kind of how it looks when I have a few filters on as well. So, like I said, you could play with the filters just to see how it looks. Everything like that, but you can also do that in the Ozbot and everything like that as well. All right, now let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and test the auto features with this one. So it's the same concept that you can do auto framing with your hand. So it should auto frame here for us. Doesn't really look like it is. Let's try zooming in here. And it doesn't really seem like I said, it doesn't seem like these gestures are working. They're turned on, but can you zoom in, please? Zoom in, please. Zoom in, please. Zoom in, please. No. Yeah, so like I said, I just don't feel like the gestures are working here too well. I'm trying to get it to work, but yeah, not really working too hot. Oh, did a little bit of auto framing. So I feel like the Ozbot does do a little better of a job with the actual like gestures. But let's go ahead and check, see how the audio sounds. All right, we are now doing the audio through the Instalink 2C, and this is how it sounds when it is on the voice focus mode. And this is how it sounds when it is on the voice suppression mode. And this is when there is a music balance mode, and this is how it sounds. And also on this Instalink 2C, there is actually a little front indent that you can double tap, and it supposedly allows you to zoom. So let's test that real quick. Yep, it definitely zoomed in, but I also knocked it back a little bit. It's not a very hard touch, so it's not very sensitive. So that's kind of nice. So that is a feature that it also has, that you can double tap that and it zooms in. I really wish this gesture would just, like, you know, actually zoom in with the gesture. But hey, if you'd like a little bit more in-depth of a video on that, on this indent and kind of what this Instalink 2C can do, let me know in the comments down below. And finally, with the Instalink 2C, there is also a privacy filter. There's a little red knob on the side here, so you can just close that, flip that down, and your privacy filter is on. Oh my God, flashbang. I'm sorry about the flashbang, guys. That is one thing with the privacy filter. You will get flashbanged if you're doing something like that. All right, the final camera that I got for you today is going to be the Elgato Facecam MK2. It is a 1080 HD webcam, and the price for that is going to be about $109.99. You can get a 4K one, but that's also closer to about $300. This is kind of what it looks like right here in my hand. It's a very bulky looking thing. There is a privacy filter on the front of it here. I'll close that. So yeah, that is the privacy filter when it is closed and everything like that. Open it back up. And that's what the camera looks like when it is open. Made out of plastic casing, everything like that. Clip, plastic, everything like that. So with that, we're going to go ahead and take a look and see how the video looks. All right. I just plugged in the Elgato Facecam, and this is how it looks coming straight out of the box. From what I can see on my OBS over here, I feel like I'm pretty blurry and that the quality isn't really like 1080. Like, I feel like I'm pixelated quite a bit. So I might have to play with some settings here. Because I feel like I'm not 1080. I'm more like 480 or something. I'm that standard definition right now. So, I'm going to see if I can play around with it just a little bit to see if I can make it look a little bit better. Yeah, and then I'll come back to you guys. All right, guys, yeah, I am back now with the Elgato Facecam here. This is how it looks after I played around a little bit. You can't use the default device settings because the default device settings will put it at 360p. You have to go to the custom settings inside of your video or your webcam and change it to 1920 by 1080. So that should fix that. This is kind of how it looks. I can't do an audio test because with this camera, it does not have a built-in microphone. So there would be no built-in microphone or anything like that. You'd be able to turn on HDR and everything like that. But I didn't do that for the other cameras. So we're going to leave this at this because this is what it looks like at 1080p without any special filters or anything like that. But with that, we're going to go ahead and do some side-by-side comparison, and then let me know what one you think looks the best. All right, guys, you can see the cameras lined up right here. We're going to be going ahead and doing the test of these 4 cameras to see one looks better just kind of back to back. So with that, let's start off with the Ozbot Meet right here. That is the Ozbot Meet. Next thing is we're going to go to the Ozbot Tiny here. That is what the Ozbot Tiny looks like. And then it's going to be then we're going to be going to the Instalink 2C here. And that is what this one looks like. And finally, then we got the Elgato Facecam Pro. And that is what this one looks like. And with that, guys, that will do it for my video. If you liked it, feel free to leave a subscribe. And also, let me know what camera you think you'd like to use the most. But with that, I'll catch you on the next video.